The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on. He missed the complete that. He's crazy stuff.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield before. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
This week, the AdvoCare Cup Series sets its sights in the paperclip known as Martinsville Speedway, nestled in Ridgeway, Virginia. Martinsville Speedway has been around longer than NASCAR itself. Its tight corners and short straights make for great racing action. Fenders will get crumbled. Feelings will get hurt. And one driver will walk away from the race today knowing they survived the toughest test on the schedule. And we will have it all live on our flag-to-flag coverage of the Coastal Safety Auditors 200. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Global Sim Racing Channel. I'm Tanner Sharp, and joining me in the booth was Brian Yazik, but he's having technical difficulties. And keeping an eye out on the action in the spotter stand is Chris Sala, twisting the knobs, adjusting the sliders, and making us sound twice as good as we look is Amjad Yaman, who is using the cameras provided by us by Dougie Beard. Martinsville Speedway is known as the paperclip racetrack. It is a half-mile, little short paperclip track, 200 laps tonight of grueling action. As these drivers will have to be patient. And that's the key. The biggest thing is being patient here at Martinsville on a 0.526 mile racetrack. 12 degrees banking in the corners, 200 laps, as it's nice and sunny, so the track temperature must be a little hot, so it must be loose on exit. Well, these drivers are trying to turn some practice laps here at Martinsville. Like we said before, patience is going to be key. Now let's take a look at the championship point standings here. Scott Ettrick with those 2 wins is out front on the chase grid. Jonathan Goodell is sitting there in second place. Third place is James Krahula. Fourth place is Dan Murray. All those guys who have wins this season. Here are the drivers that don't have wins this season is Jake Wright in fifth, Matt Lacrosse, Steve Gottschalk, Tommy Ryan, Joe Hazard, and Drew Kerr rounding out the top 10. Outside the top 10 is Josh King, Rhett McBride, Steve Ritter, Ryan Howard, Rich Jett, and Don Runkle Jr. are all so far in the chase on points. Outside the points, but it's a tight little battle. Jason Swan only 2 points out. Benny Ellison only 12 points out and sitting there in 18th place as he is tied with Nick Cohan. And in 20th place is Rick Thompson. Well, here at Martinsville Speedway, we are going to bring in DJ Beverly here at Martinsville, and I'm gonna ask him about some patience. What is it required for a driver here? DJ Beverly, do you have a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, DJ, we're here at the Martinsville Speedway today, and I was just talking about before that Martinsville is going to require a lot of patience. As a driver, what is your mindset entering this race?
Well, since my Cup Series has been kind of deadly this season, I just want to finish.
Oh, yeah, definitely. We all want to try to finish a Martinsville race because tempers can flare here. Now, right now, you're sitting 8th on the practice grid here before we start going racing here soon. Do you think you have the car to try to get up there in the top 5 and try to win this baby?
I don't know. I'm going to try. And you got some Scott Eckridge and all the unacceptable guys still horse racing. And if you finish in the top 10 with these guys, keep your fenders on it, get your mark, stay out of trouble. I'll just be happy.
Yeah, definitely. Well, before we let you go, is there anything you would like to add?
Now, I just want to say thanks for y'all doing the broadcast, man. I got people all over the place, popping popcorn, drinking a cold beer, watching the race.
Oh, definitely. This is one of my favorite short tracks, this in Richmond, but I love Martinsville. It's one of my favorites. So go out there and have a good race.
Thank you guys for what y'all do.
Well, as these guys are getting fired up for the Martinsville race, some guys are just going to want to stay out of trouble and try to miss their big wrecks. So otherwise, everybody's just going to have to try to be patient here at Martinsville Speedway. As I am currently watching DJ and a bunch of other cars down here in turn number 1. Ricky Harden making some noise here on the racetrack for the practice session here. He's down turns 3 and number 4. Oh, spinning. But yeah, that's one thing that we're going to have to talk about here at Martinsville Speedway is just patience. Patience is always going to be the number 1 key when it comes to Martinsville racing. So right now we are about to go to grid as the practice session is now finished here in the iRacing Sim. All right, let's read off the grid here, shall we, here at the Martinsville Speedway. Scott Ettrick, who has won 2 races this season, is currently on the pole. DJ Beverly qualified 2nd. We just talked to him. He's just hoping to come out of the Martinsville race-free, or wreck-free. Ryan Howard sitting in the 3rd position, and Ricky Harden sitting 4th. Eric Brundy's in the 5th position. 6th position is Rhett McBride. 7th is Jonathan Cadell. Nick Cohan is 8th. Jake Wright is 9th, and Alec Marshall is in 10th. Tommy Ryan is in 11th. And Rick Thompson is in 12th. Jody Green's 13th. 14th is Drew Carroll. Adam Jersky's 15th. Joe Hazard in 16th. In 17th position is Rich Jett. 18th position is John Martin. And the 19th position is Peri Daigle. Excuse me if I have your name wrong. Brad Collins is rounds out the top 20. Outside the top 20 here, you got Steve Gottschalk, Rick Savage in 22nd, Jesse Fowler in 23rd, Mark Allen in 24th, James Krahula is in 25th, 26th is Danny Sanchez, 27th is Don Runkle Jr., Jason Swans in 28th, Woodrow Mahan is 29th, Josh King is 30th, Randy Yoakum 31st, Mark Norbert's 32nd, Chad Stallman is 33rd, Paul Pepper in 34th, and Jeff Ryan in 35th. Outside the top 35, you have Brandon Minnick in 36, Dan Murray, now these are the guys that did not post a qualifying time. Dan Murray, Matt Lacrosse, Calvin Filarski, and Benny Ellison round out the top 40. One more lap to go green here at the Martinsville Speedway as Scott Ettrick, DJ Beverly, Ricky Harden, Ryan Howard, the top 5 cars, and Eric Brundy's will be going green as we are about to go green as the pace car makes the slow pacing down that little backstretch that we had down in Martinsville. Pace car is now in here at the Martinsville Speedway, and we are about to go racing. Here we go, race fans. Scott Ettrick already on the pedal. Green flag. We are racing here at Martinsville. What a big jump, Scott Ettrick going down to the corner. DJ Beverly settles in right behind, nice and comfortable. Pretty much all single file throughout the top 5 cars. They are battling back there, I believe, for the 8th position. That's Jake Wright in the number 27 car, and I believe it's Nick Cohan in the 21 car. Side by side, it's the first battle we are currently seeing here at Martinsville. Don't want to get up to that wall coming off the exits there, fellas. Man, Nick Cohan's really hanging tough on that outside lane. He'll have to give it up to Jake Wright, and here comes the number 85 car. So far, so good. Clean racing. I'm surprised. Here, I'm thinking we're going to be seeing a lot of cautions because Martinsville is usually known as producing a lot of wrecks here in Martinsville. So far, everybody's just taking it easy. It's a long race. It's 200 laps. Alec Marshall here in the 13th position. Everybody's just single file there. I am not seeing one battle on the racetrack. Oh, there goes the number 87 who had a bumper there. Number 87, that's Drew Carroll trying to get a bumper underneath Jody Green. Oh, they have a blinker. That's a number 71. You don't want to be blinking on a Martinsville racetrack, especially entering the corners, because somebody might accidentally get hard on them brakes. And that's another thing. You want to mind your brakes here at Martinsville. You don't want to wear them out. I'm not sure if they... oh. And joining up in the booth here is Joe Peak. Hi, Joe. How are you doing?
Hey, Tanner. Great to be here. Sorry I'm a little bit late to the party. Just managed to sneak in right as the green flag fell, watching Scott Eckrich lead the way currently.
Yeah, definitely. I've been watching the battle here. Everybody just pretty much went single file here on the racetrack. But here's a battle that should be shaping up pretty soon for the second position. DJ Beverly on Ryan Howard.
Certainly pulling right up behind him, putting the pressure on here early on. Only lap 8, as you said earlier. A long way to go here. See what the number 33 has for him, or if he's going to be patient.
Yeah, definitely. Pretty much Scott Ettrick has pretty much pulled out almost a 1 second lead. Last time by was 9/10. This time by should be about a second, and it is definitely a second. So as Scott Ettrick already 10 laps, almost 10 laps into this race. Oh, spinner on the backstretch. And does not save
That's
the
Jeff
caution.
Ryan.
Jeff Ryan. Caution is out here at the Martinsville Speedway.
The number 88 wasn't able to save it. Let's see if we can figure out what happened on the replay here.
Definitely. Let's try to figure out what happened here on the replay here. I believe he just got off turn number 2 and just got loose, but we'll have to take a look at the replay here to really diagnose what really happened.
Bit of a heart in your throat moment for poor Scott leading the way. That was the last car in the lead lap, it looked like. And like you said, just let it get away from him. Got on the power a little too much and cooked the tires on that exit.
Yeah, definitely. And usually with the sun like this, it can turn into a hot racetrack. So when the sun beats down the racetrack, it gets the track hot. So on exit, it's definitely going to get loose.
Well, already Ryan is into his pit stall, trying to get some repairs going on that. With no free repairs in this series, that is going to hurt. But could still be possible to get back on the lead lap with the lucky dog in this series.
Yeah, definitely. As of right now, if I was him in a 200-lap race in Martinsville, I would just try to take the time to repair the damage because you just don't want to be in the way out there at Martinsville. As of right now, I believe the pit road is open and no takers down pit road whatsoever, not even the leaders. We might get some cars in the back of the pack.
I did see a few cars head on in. Looks like it's mostly back markers, though.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of guys in the back are just going to take advantage of the 4 fresh tires. Scott Ettrick, I mean, he's only 10 laps on them tires, so... And I don't think Martinsville really wears out the tires that quick, unlike Auto Club Speedway last week.
Yeah, it seems like mostly everybody just trying to take a gamble at the moment. So our top 10 still right now are Scott Eckrich, DJ Beverly still in second. He's been able to hold off Ryan Howard, who's been trying to see if he could find a way around him. Ricky Harden in 4th, Eric Brundys in 5th, Rhett McBride in 6th, and Jake Wright in 7th. Then you got Jonathan Cadell has worked his way up to 8th, Nick Cohan in 9th, and Tommy Ryan is rounding out the top 10.
I just got a notification here that Adam Jersky, number 71, had a speeding penalty on pit road, so I believe that's going to be a tail end of the longest line. That's very unfortunate for him, but hopefully he can make up those positions back. It's still early in a race for Adam.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not going to make for a nice day at the office for the number 71, though. He'll have a lot of cars to overtake as the day goes by, but there's still a lot of strategy to play out, so he could try and work his way through without having to do too much on the track.
Yeah, definitely. And Joe, what is your perspective on Martinsville Speedway? Do you think the patience and the man, the machine, is going to be a combination to win this race?
I think patience is definitely going to be a big part of it. I mean, with 200 laps, it's going to require more than just trying to muscle your way forward and try and hold the lead. You got to wait for the right opportunity. You got to stay out of trouble is the big thing. We saw in the lap guide that it was said you really got to try and make sure and keep your car as whole as possible. But the pace car is heading off, so we're about to get back to green flag racing. Eckrich is going to take the green flag. Oh, and he overcomes. Oh! Spins it around.
Oh, race leader, get down there. Don't let anybody hit you. Oh, man. Wow, the race leader caution is out here at Martinsville once again. And we are going to... Oh! Everybody's running into each other now. Oh, no.
Oh, we're going to look at the replay. You talk about a bad day at the office.
Oh, man. I mean, yeah, definitely. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. A bad day at the office. And the race leader, he just gunned that gas, and she just spun right around. At first, I thought he may have clipped the apron exiting turn 4, but that really never happened.
Now, you have a lot more experience than I do here at Martinsville. Is that concrete, you think, what might have caused that? Him just getting on a little too greedy and maybe the cool concrete not getting the grip that he wanted?
Yeah, it could be. I mean, it could be a number of things. I mean, he could have maybe started in first gear for all we know. But, I mean, it could very well be, especially on 10-lap old tires. On that could be too. There's a number of things what the reason could be. But, man, oh, man, I've never really spun off the corner like that before, especially on a start of a race like that.
Well, we're obviously back to caution, right? Even before we even got the green flag, I think. The number 5 did get a bit of him. That was Dan Murray, as Eckrich tried to spin the car around, I think. And maybe Benny Ellison got a little bit of contact as well. Yeah, he made contact with the wall. Oh, yeah. And he got hit from behind, it looks like. Is that Jason Swan that got him?
I believe so. And, oh, man, that's very misfortunate for all of them guys. I mean, plus when someone wrecks here at Martinsville, you don't get a lot of room to dodge it. You just don't. I mean, you pretty much have to stop to avoid an incident here at Martinsville because there is not a lot of room. So, with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that shakes up the field a little bit because DJ Beverly is now our new race leader. Ryan Howard in second, Ricky Harden in third, Rhett McBride in fourth, and Eric Brundy's rounding out the top 5. As we welcome back Brian Yazik after having some technical issues tonight, but we're glad to have him back up here in the booth. Hello, Brian.
Oh, how's it going, guys?
We are doing fine. We are witnessing some crazy action here at the Martinsville Speedway as the race leader on the restart just spun out. Oh my goodness, it's crazy.
You know, right as everything kind of came back up and alive, and that was pretty much the first thing I saw was Scott Eckrich. Looked like he tried to restart that thing in second gear, and it just looped off the corners. Martinsville is a track that you always try to restart in third gear because the gear ratios being so high and allowing you to get up to speed really creates a lot of wheel spin. So I potentially started in second gear, kind of what it looked like to me jumping in here at the very end. But that's what I'm going to go with. That's going to be my answer.
Yeah, definitely. Joe and I were just talking about that, and I told him it could be a number of things. The track temperature is not really that. I just looked at the track temperature. It's not really that high, so there's really no reason for the cars to be spinning at all, really, on exit. So unless he started in first gear, I'm not sure. But, yeah, you talk about that high gear. Man.
Well, and it could very well be the case. We know that Scott is not afraid to take some chances and really stretch that car out. And I think maybe it's just a situation there where his normal aggressive restarting behavior just could have bit him here. Martinsville, you kind of have to treat it nice. Martinsville will reach up and bite you really, really quick. So that's very well what could have happened to that number 70 machine of Scott Eckrich. Two-time winner, got a long way to go in this race to make it three-peat, but you know, as we jump back around up front, DJ Beverly now has your field underneath the green, or underneath the control of him. He's got Ryan Howard stuck out to the outside, and he gets onto the loud pellet here. Green flag back into the air. DJ Beverly getting away, a little bit of a stack up midway through the field. He's going to get away nice and clean. Ryan Howard's going to take the opportunity, dive in right behind him, and you've got Ricky Harden, who's really needing a good run in that case. Really needing a good run as the season has progressed, falling into place in third. You've got Rhett McBride there in fourth.
Oh, Lord, almost three-wide action going down in turn 3. That was between Jake Wright, I believe number 6 of Tommy Ryan there, and the number 21 Nick Cohan. Although there's now a double file heading down that little short backstretch. down into turn number 3, as these guys, they don't want to get too hard on these brakes. As I talked about early in the broadcast, patience is going to be the #1 key to win this race at Martinsville.
Absolutely right, Tanner. But Martinsville, if you get into a good rhythm, it almost feels like a rocking chair. You know, you just got to get into that nice lazy breeze or that nice lazy feel. You get used to the car doing a certain thing, and if you get into that rhythm, you can really take care of everything on everything on the car, especially the rear tires. If you jump up off of this one and you burn off those rear tires early on in the run, you're just going to be hanging on at the end of the run.
Oh, yeah, definitely. As everybody tries to get single file at the moment. Oh, we do got a battle right here. This is the first side-by-side battle. That's the number 13 of Jody Green and the number 14, Alec Marshall. Number 77, John Martin's going to join the party as they headed down towards turn number 1.
Yeah, big stack up right there in front of Big Joe Hassard. Looks like John Martin's going to try to get by to the outside and get clear, and he's going to fall in behind Alec Marshall. Alec Marshall, another driver, as the season has progressed.
Oh, contact! Joe Hazard actually made contact with the number 13 car there on exit, as he just got a punt and a push from the number 7, a Rich Jet.
It's Martinsville.
No harm. It's Martinsville. I mean, you got to bump and grind at this place. You just have to.
Careful, you keep saying bump and grind. R. Kelly's going to show up somewhere.
Oh boy, yeah, that's definitely one sure thing. That's for sure. I'm looking at some side-by-side action in the back here, Brian.
After that, I was trying to listen in. I think some drivers were talking about Tommy Ryan kind of having some potential connection issues or something like that. Someone was dancing around on the track. Let's take a look at, where's my director telling me to go?
Yeah, I'm at the back of the back here, number 67, 29, and the 07. That's Brad Collins, Paul Pepper, and Woodrow Mahan. These guys are battling back here pretty early, trying to gain the early advantage on these fresh tires. Number 22 is going to, or 29, excuse me, is going to get the good run off.
It's absolutely the case here. Matt Lacrosse, it's kind of right behind him. Yeah, Josh King, Brad Collins. Kind of everybody underneath the blanket. James Krahula is sitting back there, just slowly working his way through the field little by little. Now he's running right about where he started at the moment. So,
boy, I tell you what, if these guys in the back of the pack want to get up to the front or what, because we're about 10 laps into this run already, and the leaders has already caught the tail end of the field. So everybody's just all over this racetrack right now. As look at the top 5, top 7 cars. Everybody's running single file like it's Daytona and Talladega, but we're at Martinsville tonight.
Absolutely. Out front, DJ Beverly setting the pace very nicely. He's got Ryan Howard and Ricky Harden both just falling in behind where he's sitting right now. He's actually not been able to squeak out too much of a gap away from Howard. But DJ's just running this track really nice right now, running it like a smooth old veteran knows how to run this place.
Yeah, DJ Beverly, he's holding his own right now here at Martinsville. I mean, Ryan Howard was catching him in the first green flag run, as we are right now on board with DJ Beverly here at Martinsville. Looking back at the number 33 car, Ryan Howard.
And it looks like jumping back, the next battle for position is actually going to be a battle for position number 4, as we've got Eric Brundy's trying to hold off. He does actually hold off a good challenge from Jonathan Cadell, but Cadell got a little bit loose off of the corner, lost everything he tried to gain up onto that number 54 machine, and he's going to be worrying about falling into the grips of the number 27 of Jake Wright, who's sitting back there in that position. Cadell looks like he's got a very strong short track car. We've talked to him a couple times previously throughout the season, and he was really looking forward to this race. He loves the driver's tracks, really likes to be able to get in there and wheel that thing, and I think you're seeing that come to fruition right now. Running right about where he started, only gaining one position at the moment, but he's all over the rear bumper of that number 54 machine.
Yeah, definitely trying to get around them the best way he can, but like we said, like I talked about earlier in the broadcast, patience is going to be key. So right now, John Cadell's trying to be as much patient as he can, but the biggest question of all, when we go to Martinsville Racing, when you get towards the end of the race, how patient can you be here at Martinsville?
It's always what it's going to boil down to, because the winner is going to be the one that can keep their car the cleanest. And I don't know if anybody's going to be able to walk out of here without a scratch on their car, but if you can keep it less damage than everybody else around you. As you're watching on screen there, Cadell is trying to dodge the lap car there of the number 20 car was that. It's moving around quick for me. Kevin Filarski there, Calvin Filarski in number 28, caught a little bit of the outside wall, trying to stay out of everybody's way.
DJ Beverly, as of right now, is leading the racing field. As I talked to him before the race started here at Martinsville, as he said he was just going to try to keep his nose clean and stay out of trouble and keep it up front as much as he can. And I'm telling you, that is what he is doing, is staying out of trouble, trying to be patient to get around all these lap cars that he comes across, because as a race leader, you're going to come across him one way or another. As right now, I don't think he's really being 100% being fully pressured by Ryan Howard.
No, and I think a lot of these drivers up front understand the kind of the ebb and the flow of Martinsville. You can't win this race early on, but you sure can throw it away early in the race. I mean, take a look at Scott Eckridge. Went from leading from the pole to leading to now being 4 laps down, according to my timing and scoring. So Martinsville can be very, very fickle in that sense. So I think a lot of these guys are just trying to take care of their stuff, make it to the end.
Yes, definitely. As I'm going to look back towards in the back of the pack of the field here just a little bit, I'm going to keep my eye right here on Paul Pepper, Matt Lacrosse, and I believe the other one is Jesse Fowler. These guys are coming from pretty much the back of the pack. Let's start off with Jesse Fowler. He started back in the 23rd position. He's moved up to 17th. But the biggest movers right here thus far is Paul Pepper. He started in the 34th position up to 19th. Matt Lacrosse, just behind him, is 38, started 38th, now up to 20th. So some of these guys are trying to come from the back of the pack to move up early to prevent themselves from going a lap down.
Oh, caution is out. Spin out back. Oh, it's Brett McBride. Brett McBride was running in the top 5. What happened to him? Smoke trailing out of that number 2 machine. That one's pretty well done and cooked. What happened here? Oh my.
Oh.
Just got on the loud pedal a little too much. Oh, you know what? Because you could look in front of him on the replay. Watch the bumper of Ricky Harden as the number 92 machine's trying to stay out of the way. But as they come off the corner, he's right where you try to be on the exit of that corner. So I think everybody just tried to dodge the 92. And there's nothing he did wrong. He was holding his lane at the top, but he just lost it trying to cut down while being on the gas a little too much.
And once again, that is just short track Martinsville racing. As right now, I believe we got cars on the pit.
Oh, Beverly overshot his stall
no.
big time. This is going to jumble up the front order of the field. It looks like Ryan Howard was able to get into position into his pits very nicely, but so was Ricky Harden. Ricky Harden's going to lead the race off of pit road.
Man, and we talk. Martinsville might be crazy on the racetrack. Just think how pit road is. Man, oh man, Martinsville is actually one of the hardest pit roads to really get into, because you're trying to fit 40 cars on that small little pit road. And man, mistakes can happen, but you don't want to have mistakes when it comes to Martinsville.
Martinsville is just a track that you could pretty much find yourself buried early on, and no matter how much you try to dig out of it, it's just not going to do that for you. It's pretty much ruthless as a driver. As soon as you have something bad happen early on in the race, there's really have a hard time of digging yourself out of it.
Yeah, definitely. Martinsville Speedway, it's really hard, because when you get stuck in mirror traffic, because as of right now, according to my scoring here, DJ Beverly is currently 9th, so he's somewhat in the mid-pack of the top 10. I mean, he's up front, yes, but yet again, me personally as a driver, I'd rather be more comfortable to be out front ahead of everybody than side by side, cars behind me, cars ahead of me. I mean, just things can happen, and that's just a recipe for short track racing.
Yeah, and you're absolutely correct, Tanner. And you know, it's kind of Martinsville and Talladega both have something in common. It's going to sound weird to say the shortest track and the longest oval track on the AdvoCare Cup schedule have something in common. But when you're out front, you can really dictate how your race is going to unfold. Because what you're talking about, DJ Beverly is going to have to be dealing with this now. Being out front, used to being able to kind of set his own pace, and now he's going to be stuck right back in the 8th position off of this restart. Now you go from being in comfortable control, you get used to that rocking chair sort of motion that I was talking about, and now you've got cars in front of you, you've got cars beside you, you've got cars trying to dive bomb you, get into the corner, and it could really throw your mojo off. Whereas you look up front, Ricky Harden, Ryan Howard, Jonathan Cadell, Jake Wright, Tommy Ryan, these guys are going to be able to find and fall into a nice rhythm around here and really kind of try to keep the wheels under their car.
I completely agree. I completely agree. I mean, that's just that you hit the nail on the head about Martinsville right there, Brian. As the restart was waved off, I'm seeing the pace car lights still turned off right now, so we should be going green this time by. Rhett McBride still repairing the damage on pit road. Pace car lights are back on, so we are not going green this time by, as the caution was waved again to wave off the restart.
Well, it looks like, from what I can gather, it looks like a lot of wave around cars or cars out back just trying to get caught up.
Yep.
And potentially some black flags out there, so guys are trying to be nice and stay out of the way, but all they're doing is slowing everything else up. So it's just kind of a terrible ebb and flow of it. So with the cautions, with the cautions being so short here, the caution laps around here are only 40 seconds. Doesn't take long for things to get really jangled up.
Oh no! And by the time any of the race officials can do anything about it, the cars are already on a backstretch ready to go green red flag racing. Here we go. Brian, pace car is going to be in down pit road. There goes the Ford Mustang pace car down pit road. Number 15, Ricky Harden in turn number 3, side by side with Ryan Howard, Jonathan Cattell. Green flag, maybe not. Green flag racing. We're back racing here at Martinsville Speedway.
And Ricky Harden gets a great launch off the corner. Is going to secure first position, working his way through first and second.
DJ Beverly 3 wide. Here he goes.
Oh, no. Oh, multiple cars. Rick Savage is part of it. Well, almost got part of it. Who else got him? I see another car, the 76 of Rick Thompson. Oh, my. Well, there's going to be some interesting replay angles, that's for sure.
DJ Beverly, according to my screen here, got clipped in the left rear quarter panel of the number 14 car. That sent him spinning. That was a 3-wide situation there, too. As we go on board, DJ Beverly on his perspective here. Or onboard camera, yeah. Man, that's just tough racing right there, especially when you go 3 wide at Martinsville. Man, that's just very unfortunate for DJ. He was really hoping to stay out of trouble. Led laps early. I just feel bad for DJ.
Well, and the thing is, when you look at it, he didn't purposely take everybody 3 wide.
Oh, no, he didn't. No.
He was trying to get down in front of, who was that? Is that the number 13 machine, Jody Green? He was trying to get through there, and then as he was trying to work his way off the corner, Alec Marshall was there, and then slides up in the middle of the track and collects Big Joe Hassert, the number 76 of Rick Thompson. There is that.
I believe our lucky dog here should
Do we get to see Brutus, the lucky dog?
Yes, sir. I believe it's the number 29 car, if I'm not mistaken. That is Paul Pepper. Nope, excuse me, maybe not.
Well, I think there might.
Yeah, I believe it's the number 29 of Paul Pepper here at Martinsville, so he will get the lucky dog.
You saw Brutus, the lucky dog, on there. Coastal Safety Auditors, your one-stop shop for fire and life safety equipment and services. That one was a little tricky because I believe the first car 1 lap down was involved in the accident. So then it defaults back with the iRacing server of who was next that wasn't involved and anything like that. So sometimes that gets a little jarbled. We apologize for that, ladies and gentlemen, sitting at home, but we'll get it. Don't worry.
Yeah, we're trying to keep up with the action here as best we can here at Martinsville, especially on a short track like this. Because I mean, if we were race officials and we were we had to throw out an extra yellow, we would have to do it almost immediately. So it's just a little short track. Just bear with us, and we will get it done as quickly as possible.
Yep, and I think I'm just kind of keeping a look up on my track map right now. A lot of cars either on pit road trying to play catch up. Just kind of a lot of things going on. So race officials are deciding to give us an extra pace lap right now. Unfortunately for fans of Mark Norbert out there, he has disconnected from the server. I believe probably too much damage, judging by the fact of where he's sitting at in the race. So, Martinsville is kind of a buzzsaw of the field. We started out with 40 drivers strong, and now we're only left with 23 on the lead lap after Calvin Filarski got his. Coastal Safety Auditors lucky dog.
Yeah, definitely, as the pace car lights are now turned off here at Martinsville, as pace cars should be going down pit road here any moment. Make that hard left turn. You got Ricky Harden, Ryan Howard, Jonathan Cadell, Jake Wright, Tommy Ryan, Eric Brundies, Drew Carroll, Nick Cohan, Jody Green, John Martin, and the green flag. We're back racing here at Martinsville.
Once again, we're back under caution. What happened there? Alec Marshall, I believe. Oh, big stack up. There's a parking lot off of turn 4. Pierre Daggle is involved. Alec Marshall's involved. I think Dan Murray was part of that one. What happened? Oh, I see what happened. The 77 went to goose it just a little bit, and he got loose off of the corner. And unfortunately for Alec Marshall, his problem-plagued season keeps going. Gets caught up into that wreck. 29 tries to get through. You see Krahula skating through. Pierre Daggle, like I said, was involved. The 71, Adam Jersky, was involved. Biggest losers out of that one are going to be the 14 of Alec Marshall and the number 77 of John Martin there.
Almost like a 3-wide situation right there, but unfortunately, yeah, Alec Marshall, man, I tell you, when is the bad luck going to run out, and when is he going to start to get the good luck? Hopefully soon.
I'm certainly hoping so. I've raced against Alex. I know Alex. He's a great kid. Just hoping for some good mojo to finally find him in this Premier Racing League AdvoCare Cup schedule.
I believe Woodrow Mahan in the 07 is going to get the lucky dog here, Brian.
Well, no, according to our spotter, Chris Scala out there doing a wonderful job being kind of thrown to the fire pit at Martinsville. He points out that he was involved in that wreck. So
that's one thing about the lucky dog system, Brian. You have to correct me if I'm wrong, is if a person that is a first car lap down, but he gets involved in the incident, there is no lucky dog.
That is, well, I believe it works its way back to the next car that wasn't involved. So by my math, that could potentially be Don Runkle Jr. But if he was, well, here's the thing, is if you're stopped on the track, you're also not eligible for a lucky dog. And I think with the way that everybody kind of parked it off of the corners, I don't think there's actually going to be a Coastal Safety Auditor's lucky dog. So unfortunately, we don't get to see Brutus the lucky dog one more time, but I'm sure we'll get back around to it.
Yeah, definitely. And Martinsville's a hard thing to do because before, when that wreck was happening and the front stretch was all bottled up, all the leaders were on the back stretch, and they were telling the leaders kind of like stop in turn number 4 just to, let that front stretch, get sorted out there, which happened already. So I'm not sure if we will see a lucky dog here. Martinsville is just so hard. It's just so small and so hard. I mean, it gets frustrating, but at the same time, everyone does their best.
That's all you can hope for. You just, Martinsville is full of what we call the Dory Awards here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. And if you're not familiar with Dory from Finding Nemo, just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. So you're going to see a lot of guys with broken, beaten up fenders and a lot of bruised, probably a lot of bruised egos and different varieties of things like that. But these guys are going to keep trucking because Martinsville can be very, very fickle. And, guys ahead of you that you're trying to race for position might have a bad one. So, I mean, let's take a look at Scott Eckridge. Already up to 30th position. According to my timing, it's where he's gained 1 lap back on the leaders. And because 2 other guys were involved in that wreck, he's going to gain 2 more spots.
Yeah, definitely. But in order for him to be back on the lead lap, he would have to make up 3 laps. And as of right now, I'm only showing 18 cars on the lead lap. So he's got his work cut out for him tonight.
He will be. But if there's a driver out there that I know has the wheel to do it, it's going to be the driver of that number 70 machine. Scott he's fierce behind the wheel, very fast. He's proven it all season, and finally is starting to get the results that show for it with back-to-back wins at Auto Club and Las Vegas. There we go. See, I'll get there.
Yeah, the pace car lights are now back on since we have to get the field all sorted out again here, trying to get everybody caught right back up. Like we said, Martinsville, it's a short track, man, and sometimes you just got to do that stuff to get everybody all sorted out.
So, let's see here. Back out front, leader is going to be Ricky Harden again, just clicking off. He's getting some nice laps led. Still got to go a little ways before he catches up with DJ Beverly in the laps led category, but he's led about 20 of them right now, and I think at least 16. The 16 have been under caution, so. Oh boy, John Martin on the driver radio. Good thing we don't broadcast that across because he's getting a little feisty on that one. But Ford Mustang pace car back in the air. Ricky Harden wasting no time, getting back on the loud pedal. Green flag back into the air, gets a great start, and he's going to let Ryan Howard slide in behind him. Jake Wright's going to actually gain a position on that restart. Jonathan Cadell did not get a great start, and he's actually lost that position. Went back to fourth, side by side, back there for fifth or for sixth.
Drew Carroll.
Mr. Excitement himself, Drew Carroll, not afraid to drive aggressively. He's going to clear the 54 of Eric Brundy's and get around. You see Nick Cohan back there lurking in ninth position, trying to work his way around the number 13 machine of Jody Green, and he's got Rick Savage in that Savage Spinners number 12 machine, working out and rounding out the top 10.
It's devastating to be out on that outside lane here at Martinsville, because when you're stuck out there, all you're trying to do is just trying to find a hole. You're asking other drivers, find me a hole, and all of a sudden there is no hole. You'll be in the back of the pack by the time you find a hole, but as of right now, everyone's pretty much giving each other room, letting each other in, playing it safe, as all top 10 cars are single file.
And we jump back to the first battle right outside the top 10. Paul Pepper has worked his way around Jesse Fowler there, and now James Krahula continuing his charge from the back of the pack up through the front. And if I'm not mistaken, that number 24 AdvoCare machine doesn't have a whole lot of scratches on it.
Jesse Fowler had a wash up the hill in turns 1 and 2, but no harm, no foul as he falls in on the outside. Actually, he falls back in line there in the number 98 car.
Looking back out there, everything kind of seems calm out front. Everybody's just kind of pacing around, logging some laps, getting this thing marched down. We got Jesse Fowler on screen right now in position number. Well, no, we're going to jump back to Dan. Where are we going, Director?
And now, here's a race. Should be a race right here. You got a couple cars ahead of him. I'm looking at Dan Murray. A couple cars ahead of him is Woodrow Mahan. If Dan Murray can catch Woodrow Mahan, that would be a battle for position and lucky dog.
You know, Dan Murray is a great short track driver, just like his teammate up there, sitting in fourth position, being Jonathan Cadell. Murray knows how to wheel it around these short tracks, so you know he's itching to get back on the lead lap and maybe show these guys something.
Oh yeah, definitely. And right now he's trying to catch Woodrow Mahan, who is the first car lap down just ahead of him. So if he number 4 car, I don't know if that's a lap. Yeah, it's a lap car. I think he got into the outside wall just a little bit as he's letting everybody go on the inside row here.
Yeah, the problem that you run into at Martinsville, especially when you're off the pace like that, you've got nowhere to go. You can try to hide anywhere, but the leaders will just swallow you up everywhere you go.
Yep, exactly, and especially when it comes to lap cars too. So you got to catch the lap cars at the right moment. If you don't, guys behind you will catch you drastically as you're trying to get around the lap cars. And the lap cars are just doing everything they can to get out of the way. That's what they're trying to do.
Try to find a spot to hide in, but it seems like everywhere you go, the boogeyman's just waiting for you. Drew Carroll, Mr. Excitement, up to P5.
Yeah.
Started, where did he start?
14th on the grid. Yes, sir. He's making some noise.
Got a little crinkle right there, right behind the bow tie logo. That's nothing.
Oh, that's nothing. Yeah, that is nothing here at Martinsville. I mean, I don't think aerodynamics means a whole heck of a lot. Well, they do in some cases, but they don't mean a lot, unlike Auto Club Speedway, where aerodynamics means everything.
Absolutely correct. Saw a little tire smoke there. Yeah, you saw the same thing I did.
Right, yeah. I'm not sure where that came from, but maybe a little tire rub or something.
Potentially the 07 there. That was getting a little squirrely, but I'm just kind of keeping an eye out here. Something worth noting. Look at Jake Wright. He's sitting there in third position, starting to rack up the pressure on the number 33 machine of Ryan Howard. He's taken a higher entrance into the corner. If you kind of watch that, he's trying to work on what's called diamonding. So rather than rounding out the corner as an even playing field, he rolls it in high, but then tries to cut down through the middle and tries to drive it off. But unfortunately, he's trying, but it's just not quite panning out this early on into the season, or into the race. Later on in the race, when a little bit of heat moves up and builds, then that will absolutely work. Jumping back, Rick Savage has just started to kind of free fall back through the field. I didn't quite see if anything happened. The rear of that car is beaten up, but it's hard to tell if that was from an incident or anything like that. As you kind of watch the side-by-side battle, there's
I believe just hit the wall on the back stretcher. Got really loose. No harm, no foul. Or that's a 29, maybe. Is that Jimmy John's paint scheme I'm seeing?
Yeah, but here's the interesting part about Savage. Right now, he's holding up the 07 of Woodrow Mahan. Look who's right behind him. Number 5, Dan Murray. He's going to try to work up there and get around the 07 and get into a lucky dog position, because we're kind of we're approaching the long run here, so something's bound to happen.
Yeah, I believe this is if I'm not mistaken, this is the longest green flag run that we had of the night. So with this right here, Dan Murray, Woodrow Mahan, this is for position, but unfortunately Calvin Filarski and the number 28 just went one lap down, so they will have to catch Calvin to get the lucky dog, but this is a battle for position on racetrack. Dan Murray, Woodrow Mahan.
But I believe that number 28 machine is fairly wounded, so I don't know if it's going to take a whole lot of time to get the number 5 of the 07 caught up to him, but we'll have to see. Top 5 as they run right now. Ricky Harden still holding a pretty wheel out front, followed by Ryan Howard, Jake Wright, Jonathan Cadell, who seems to be making a little bit of noise, been running some fairly fast lap times the last couple laps. And then you've got Mr. Excitement himself, Drew Carroll, sitting there in position number 5, but he's got Tommy Ryan in that Northern Tools and Equipment Chevrolet all over the rear bumper.
Biggest mover that came from outside the top 10, I believe, would be Rich Jett in the number 7 car. He started 17th. He's up to 9th place. But a guy that is looking and knocking on the door for the top 10 position, 2 seconds back of Nick Cohan, is James Krahula. Started 25th, currently 11th as of right now.
Krahula's just trying to take care of that car. He's trying to keep it all together for the first half and maybe try to save it and see what happens in the last half of the race. Because with as aggressive as things have been so far earlier on in this race, as this race winds down towards its conclusion, these guys are going to ratchet up and start driving it deeper. And, all of a sudden, it will be take no quarters and give no quarters.
Yeah, definitely. I got to tip my hat to the number 29 car of Paul Pepper. He started back in the 34th position. I believe he is the biggest mover of the race thus far. He's up the 12th position, holding his own right now. No cars around him. Behind him is Woodrow Mahan. He is a one lap down car, so he is not feeling pressured at the moment.
Boy, I'm looking here. Ricky Harden has a gaggle of traffic out in front of him. Martinsville is kind of known for being a conveyor belt because you just see caution is out.
Turn 1 and 2.
Steve Gottschalk is involved. Yep, the number 91 sitting sideways on the track.
Oh boy, yeah.
The rare single car incident at Martinsville.
The cautions aren't rare, but the single car, it's rare.
Whoa.
Oh.
A little bit of contact there. Leaders are on pit road already. Things happen extremely quick here at Martinsville. Looks like everybody's going to hit pit road as we're going on here. And I believe, we just talked about Calvin Filarski in that position. I believe Calvin Filarski in that number 28 is going to be your Coastal Safety Auditors lucky dog.
I believe
there
so.
You go. We're working his way around. We're going to bring up Brutus the lucky dog. There we go, Brutus the lucky dog. Coastal Safety Auditors, your one-stop shop for fire and life safety equipment and services. Meanwhile, jumping back out front, Ricky Harden very easily wins the race off of pit road. And I believe it's going to be Cadell second, Howard third. No, Cohan third. Howard will roll off of pit road fourth.
Oh, man, I love Brodus right there. But yeah, Ricky Harden will lead the charge off pit road here at Martinsville. And like I talked about earlier, I wasn't sure if you were in the booth or not when I said it, but Martinsville's pit road is actually a hard pit road to really get around, to maneuver around, because you got 40 cars pitting. and trying to find your pit box, man. I mean, we see it with DJ Beverly overshoot his pits. It is just a hard pit road. Not a lot of people think it's hard, but it's hard.
It can be tricky, especially if you're pitted on one of the pit stalls in the corners. If you're on the front stretch from the pit road standpoint, it's actually not too terrible. But if you're around the corners, it does make it very tricky to find your pit stall. And when it boils down to it, these guys, now that we're kind of some of my spotters are having some back and forth conversation, this is gonna get very close to the outside edge of their fuel window, I believe.
I think we'll have more cautions.
I believe so, yeah.
So,
Martinsville and fuel
I'm not
race
too
or fuel strategy never goes together.
Exactly. I am not too worried about fuel mileage. So if I'm Ricky Hart, a race leader, I just want to hold that lead for the remainder of the race and hope the cautions fly.
Well, and interestingly enough here, we're going to have 3 cars take a wave around, and that's going to be the number 5 of Dan Murray, Brad Collins, John Martin, and I believe I see Scott Eckrich trailing along in the back end of that pack too. Scott Eckrich, at least last I saw, was 2 laps down, so I don't know if that's a fairly instant stat, or has he gotten his 3rd lap back now?
I am not entirely sure here. Let me take a look.
All right, still says 2. I was getting a little optimistic there, but the wave arounds are going to get caught up. We're going to jump back out to the front of this field. The field is working their way through 1 and 2 behind the Ford Mustang pace car. The Ford Mustang pace car lights are off. Let's see if they decide to flip them back on the back stretch, or if we're going to let these boys go here.
Majority of the field is caught up. Some lap cars are trying to catch up here, as right now they are not going to wave off. We are going green here at Martinsville. We are not waving off the restart to let everybody catch right back up. So here we go. Ricky Harden, Jonathan Cadell, Nick Cohan, Ryan Howard. Green flag. We're back racing at Martinsville.
Ricky Harden getting those great restarts. There's a sweet spot there in turn 4 that you can gun it as the leader, and nobody has any hope of trying to catch up with you. But Jonathan Cadell, we got another caution.
Caution is out.
Calvin Filarski? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, sir. It's Calvin Filarski.
Sitting around. Where's he sitting around? Right there in 1 and 2. Did he get some help? Oh, yeah, he got some big-time help.
Oh, man, don't we love Martinsville. Oh, man. I mean, it's frustrating as a driver, but as a race fan, it is so fun to watch.
Well, and this, you know what? The guys that just took a wave around, this couldn't have worked out any more perfectly for them. They just got waved back around, so like guys like Dan Murray, Dan Murray, Brad Collins, John Martin, they're back on the lead lap. Now they can just dive on pit road, get 4 fresh feel goods, load that thing back up with fuel, and send her to the end.
Now, I know Woodrow Mahan will get the lucky dog, because I was watching him too, and when that caution flew, he was the first car lap down. Here he goes. He will get the lucky dog.
It's a beautiful thing. Round the outside. Working his way around the field. Going to get around the pace car. Brutus the lucky dog appears on your screen. The Coastal Safety Auditors Lucky Dog Award. Coastal Safety Auditors, remember, boys and girls, they are your one-stop shop for fire and life safety equipment and services.
Well, no takers on pit road, obviously, since we only had about a lap, not even a lap on these on these tires. So I'm not expecting anybody. Made a corner, yeah, exactly. So they made a corner, and no, we're not going to expect anybody down pit road in the meantime. So as of right now, everybody's just taking a deep breath at the moment under this caution flag, so they gather their thoughts. And I don't know, how are you feeling there, Brian?
Well, I'm about 10 laps behind everybody, so I'm feeling refreshed. You know, I feel great.
Yeah, definitely.
Gotta love technical gremlins, especially when the guys that guard our GSRC booth here, apparently they didn't recognize who I was. They wouldn't let me in the booth. It wasn't a pretty sight out in the GSRC trailer. But hey, we got it all back figured out. Let's see here. I'm trying to keep an eye on the pace car here. If this is they're gonna shut the lights off? Let's see here. No, pace car lights are still on. All right, we're just kind of keeping an eye on things here. Yeah, that's kind of where that is. Calvin Filarski's going to try to stay. He's going to, as soon as the pace car is going to let him by, he's going to dive around and get back onto the. Well, he's right now on the very tail end of the lip. He's going to work his way around. So now that Lucky Dog is going to be a moving target here. And it looks like it's going to be a three-way battle between Matt Lacrosse, Steve Gottschalk, and Don Runkle Jr. So we will have to keep an eye on that one. Absolutely. We're going to have to keep an eye on that as the race, as this next run wears on, anywhere between 2 corners and 40 laps.
Well, the pace car lights are off here at Martinsville. All the wave around cars, and I believe did caution car. Nope, I'm still seeing the pace car lights turned off.
Yep, lights are off.
Go.
Ford Mustang pace car dives off. Field is under the control of Ricky Harden. Let's see if he's going to get that restart just the way he likes it. Finds that sweet spot in turn 4 onto the loud pedal. Green flag back into the air. Gets a great start, and which allows Jonathan Cadell to sneak in behind him into second place. Nick Cohan working his way up to third underneath the number 33 machine there of Ryan Howard, trying to gain that position away. Howard's going to fight back on the outside, but I don't know if that's going to be a prevailing battle because he's going to try to get the run off the high side, because if you can pinch that guy on the bottom down, you can actually make the outside work. It's still not quite clear.
Mr. Excitement.
Another caution. Benny Ellison?
John Martin, maybe. I heard him got on the radio.
Well, Benny Ellison's smoking here. Let's see what happens. Oh! Oh, my. What happened?
It's Ellison and Beverly.
01 and 02.
That would be them. Let's see here. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that car is smoking going down pit road. That's never a good sign. I believe... Let me see here. Rewind myself. Oh, well, Runkle got a part of that, so I don't think he's actually going to get the Lucky Dog Award. I think that actually might work its way to Steve. Nope, he got a part of it too. So it continues to work its way down, which the next car 2 laps down will be Scott Eckridge. Let's see here.
And if it ain't Matt, it might be Scott Ettrick, maybe, if it's not Matt Lacrosse.
We'll see here. I don't see anybody jumping around the pace car. Oh, wait, no, I do see somebody. Hold on. 00. Don Runkle Jr. is going to get your Coastal Say. I thought he got a part of that one. The iRacing software wasn't going to give it to him. But, hey, that's what happens when you're the lucky dog. See Bruce the Lucky Dog on your screen. Coastal Safety Auditors, your one-stop shop for fire and life safety equipment and services. And with that being said, we're going to try to take a quick break here on GSRC. Go out there, refill your beverages, get some more popcorn, and we'll be back in a minute. And just like the caution flags around here, the caution laps, short break for us. I didn't get a chance to get a Martinsville hot dog. I'm kind of upset about that, but hey, that's what we got post-race for. Ford Mustang pace car dives to pit road, field back into the control of the number 15 of Ricky Harden. Let's see what happens here. He's going to find that sweet spot right off there, turn 4, back onto the loud pedal. Green flag back into the air, and here is Ricky Harden back out into the front. Oh! Jonathan Cadell trying to snake down.
21!
Oh, Nick Cohen, he saved it!
What a save! Oh, boy.
Caution is out, though.
Nick Cohen actually got hard, really hard into the corner and overdrove it a little bit.
Was that the trigger of the caution?
Maybe 77. John Martin.
John Martin on screen just goes into turn 1 and loses it. So now, I believe that's going to put the lucky dog into the hands of Steve Gottschalk in that number 91 machine. I'm gonna wait for an official iRacing sign from the heavens that that's the case, but everybody up here in the booth is very certain that is going to be your Coastal Safety Auditor's lucky dog.
Tell you what, Nick Cohen, he got hard, like really, he overdrove a little bit in turn 1 and 2, and when that happened, he tried to fill that hole on the bottom of the racetrack when he had the car behind him, whoever that was, I'm not quite sure at the moment, but he tried to fill that hole, and he got tapped from behind and got him sideways, but what a save by Nick Cohen. Lost a few positions, but still remains in the top 10.
And there you see Steve Gottschalk working his way around the outside, getting your Coastal Safety Auditor's Lucky Dog Award. Brutus the Lucky Dog on your screen. Remember, kids, Coastal Safety Auditors, your one-stop shop for fire and life safety equipment and services. And also remember, this is the Coastal Safety Auditors 200. Just figure out we throw all sorts of sponsor puns in. Anybody else want to toss anything? Tanner, you got anything?
Martinsville hot dog. There we go. So I'll say that much right now. And Joe, I totally forgot all about the Martinsville hot dog. I was gonna have Joe bring me one up, but I forgot all about it. So, oh well, I didn't get one either.
Well, after Joe pretty much just saved my rear end on that one, Joe is now donning a pair of binoculars, and he's up there in the spotter stand with Chris Scala, and they are feeding us both a lot of great information up here in the booth. Really appreciate those guys hanging around and helping us out here in the broadcast to try to make it sound and look that much more better to you at home.
Another driver I've been calling him out a couple times tonight is Paul Pepper. He cracked the top 10 as of right now, sitting in the 10th position. Paul Pepper started 34th. Great run for him tonight.
Absolutely. I mean, you take a look at that. Yeah, Paul Pepper started 34th, running up to 10th. Not many places around that you can do that.
Not many drivers can really say they could do that either. I mean, especially with all the cautions we had, and I'm not really seeing a scratch on that number 29 Jimmy John's car.
No, we just saw look out front there. Scott Eckridge just on pit road getting a little bit more damage repaired, but I really think it wasn't damage repaired as much as the crew jumped over the wall and I think cut whatever was left of the rear bumper off. So we got that going for him. But yeah, as the field works their way around, 21 cars on the lead lap with Rick Savage sitting shotgun on that. Your last car 1 lap down. Now you start getting back into cars being 2 laps down, 3 laps down. And many, many more. But
well, get this. The first car 1 lap down is actually 2 laps down. That's Brandon Minnick. So if we do get another caution, providing if Brandon does not get involved in another incident, he will gain one of those laps back.
Well, here's the really quick before we jump back to green. This next caution is going to be crucial for the next driver trying to get back on the lead lap, because both of them are 2 laps down. Once they get the first one, then they go 1 lap down. Then they're all by themselves 1 lap down. So, yep. Ricky Harden back onto the loud pedal, green flag back in the air. Ryan Howard gets a great start following him, and he's going to try to follow up in a second, but he's going to be side by side with the number 65 with Jonathan Cadell. Ryan Howard almost got a great enough run going into the corner to try to challenge Ricky Harden for the lead. But now, side by side for second, you see Mr. Excitement himself, Drew Carroll, just lurking back there in the popcorn position in 3rd place, trying to make something work, but the door's going to get slammed to lose contact. There it is. There's Mr. Excitement. He's not afraid to stick the nose of that machine right in there, and the door slam him off the corner.
This is Martinsville Racing, folks. Martinsville Racing at its finest right here.
We're beyond halfway. Take no quarters, give no quarters. Move. Drew Carroll trying to get up to 3rd position, but he just can't get clear of Cadell. Cadell's driving him down into the corners and trying to pinch him off, keeping him low. Oh, goodness. Now Cadell finally lets him by. That's going to create a small stack up there. Behind him is Jake Wright was also looking to take advantage of it. Tommy Ryan was trying to get by as well.
I was just going to say, here comes Mr. Excitement. In other words, Mr. Where did he come from? So, I mean, he's running up in the 3rd position, started 14th, as he was bumping some doors, trading some paint with the number 65 car of Jonathan Cadell there.
Let's see. Yeah, there's a little bit of bumping, banging. I don't think these guys are too mad at each other just yet. Typically the tempers come out when it gets below 50 to go.
Well, I mean, if both of them start spinning, I'm sure we're going to be seeing some fists fly down on pit road or something like that. But although these guys are racing pretty clean with each other, that little contact, no one's not really worried. They're still racing really clean. So these guys are showing a lot of respect for each other.
Absolutely. The Premier Racing League AdvoCare Cup Series has to go. Oh, contact! Jonathan Cadell pays back the 87. Got him going into the corner.
Knock, knock. I mean, I don't know what happened there. He must have got a little too hard in the corner there. Mr. Excitement didn't really get on the radio about it at all. So,
no, I think I heard Cadell chuckle as they came off of the corner. So that may have been some, maybe some pleasantry back and forth between.
Oh,
the
he'll
two.
be back. He'll be back.
Oh yeah, no, you just got when you have a moment like that in the 87 that Drew Carroll had, it takes about a lap to get your breath back, and then your heart rate calms back down. Then you get back into your rhythm. So now we'll have to keep an eye on that 87 versus 65 as the race wears on.
That's a friendly little rivalry right there.
And boys and girls, Scott Eckrich is currently in the position for the lucky dog. I was trying to cram this in before the restart, but this is crucial for Scott because with no other cars one lap down at this current second,
he will get the lucky dog.
He will get both. He'll get 2 laps down to 1 lap down, and then he's the only car 1 lap down.
Battle for the lead.
Battle for the lead out front. Nope.
Well, I mean, almost, but I mean, I could have sworn Ryan Howard. He's been in the top 5 all race long. He started 3rd, and he hasn't. I mean, he's got no scratch on that car. Well, maybe he'll have the runner here. Maybe not. Not right now, but.
In good instances, sometimes it takes a full lap to set up a pass around somebody. You got to get a great run off of one of the corners to set it up, and then you got to get real close, right on the hood of the number 33 machine of Ryan Howard. You got to get real close there and set your run up off of the corner. But it looks like Ryan is really, really good getting into and then to the middle of the corner. But he loses ground a little bit on exit to the number 15 of Ricky Hart. You got Ryan and Ricky up there. That's only going to throw me for a loop. So when it all shakes out, they're pretty much running even lap times, lap in and lap out. In fact, the last time they matched lap times,
they matched
down
lap
to
times.
the hundredth
Never
of a
changed.
second.
Yep. So these guys right here, the top 2 cars, are even right now. And Ryan Howard, oh man, I'm rooting for him, man. I'm rooting for him to win, take that Dr. Pepper to victory lane today. Woohoo!
Yeah, he's going for it, but I know for a fact Ricky Harden, after the season he's had, hasn't had a great run of luck, actually sat out a race because of running out of driver credits. Now he's sitting far enough back in the points that he's really got to look at getting a win as the season wears on. So now he's sitting in a great position, and Ricky actually won the Premier Racing League Truck Division at Martinsville here the other night. So he's got a great feel around this joint, knows how to get around there, and he's got a win under his belt already.
I mean, yeah, definitely. I mean, if you got wins at this racetrack, man, you definitely know how to take your car and race this track and take it to victory lane. So as of right now, Ryan Howard, he is not going anywhere. Right now, it's about 2/10 away as they go around lap traffic here, enter down turn number 3.
Just kind of sitting there. The gap isn't moving. I mean, the overall lap times, everybody is very, very close. So that's typically, you won't see guys making a whole lot of inroads because you have to be about 2/10 faster a lap than the guy ahead of you. Ricky Hart gets a little tire smoke going into that corner right there.
Yeah.
I think he got in there and it just got a little swirly on him.
Yeah, maybe feeling a little pressure. I mean, right now, if I was him, I wouldn't feel pressured whatsoever. I mean, if he gets underneath me, he gets underneath me. I mean, that's just good old racing right there. Scott Ettrick getting on the radio about some type of topic, but as of right now, he would be currently the lucky dog if a caution does come out, providing if he doesn't get involved in any kind of incident whatsoever. Otherwise, the iRacing software will not give you the lucky dog if you get involved in anything.
And Ricky Harden staring at a whole bunch of lap traffic. But let's jump back a little bit into the field here. Get my My position's
Pepper,
all
he
figured
was-
out. Yeah, Pepper.
yeah,
Go ahead and
Paul
talk
Pepper.
about that, Tanner.
Yeah, Paul Pepper, he was in the top 10 as we made note earlier in the race. He's losing a couple positions here. He's back now in the 12th position. Just ahead of him, 4th position is James Krahula, who actually started in the 25th position, currently 11th. And ahead of James Krahula, 4th position is Rich Jett, who starts 17th, currently 10th.
Rich Jett hanging on there a little bit. He's coming under fire. Oh, no, that's a lap car. But yeah, Rich Jett hanging on there. He's got Krahula lurking about a second off him in the corners there. But I'm still keeping an eye out front because your top 5, you could pretty much throw a blanket on and keep them all covered up. Because you've got Harden out front, Ryan Howard in second. Yeah.
Cadell just, I mean, I'm just look back at that battle right here, and holy cow, he was a couple seconds back, but now he's like right in the back bumper.
Cadell is not wasting any time. He knows that the pay window just getting ready to open up. You've got 63 laps to go. Cadell is all over the rear bumper of Ryan Howard.
No.
Let's see if he's going to be able to get around him.
Lap cars could have played a difference maker there too.
Well, it's, you know, when I'm watching Cadell here, it kind of reminds me of the great Bill Soup Zahn. And anybody that's a familiar watcher of Global Sim Racing broadcasts, we know there's a lot of soupisms out there. But my favorite one is as you're trying to run somebody down, it's kind of like trying to milk a rooster. Right now, the hard part is catching him.
Yeah, definitely. It's like you say, you can throw a blanket over the top, 4 cars here. Running single file, nobody's not really diving in the corner, bumping, grinding or anything. I'm just waiting for that number 87, Mr. Excitement, to come back.
Oh, you know he'll come back. Right now he's sitting there in the 7th position, just kind of waiting a little bit. Side of that car's beating up a hair, but not too bad. It's Martinsville. Oh, I've been corrected on the phrase. It's like milking a rooster. The hard part starts after you catch him. So now Cadell has caught the rooster of Ryan Howard. That's a good nickname, Ryan the Rooster Howard. I'm going to probably stick him with that as the season goes on. So now, especially at Martinsville, it's going to be tricky because you've got to set up your run and you've got to set up your pass at the right time.
Oh yeah, definitely. And like I said earlier in the broadcast, patience is the #1 key. So if you're running in 2nd, 3rd, or 4th place right now, as Jonathan Cadell gets really close to the back bumper of Ryan Howard, patience is going to be the #1 key to try to gain a position on somebody and try to win this race.
Watching everybody working their way around lap traffic. That's just keeping everything. That's amazing. Top 5 cars are all underneath a blanket. They're all working around lap cars. You got a kind of conveyor belt system going on here between these guys. And also in a race for the Lucky Dog, Calvin Fularski in that number 28 machine has actually gone 1 lap down. So now what he needs to do, if you're in the driver's seat of the number 70 there, you need to find that 28 machine and get around him and then hope that the race runs long enough around again to potentially catch him and go that way. But at that point, I think there's going to be other drivers 1 lap down because you got Don Runkle about 18.5 seconds back, or about, let's see here, about a second and a half in front of the leaders. As you see, he's diving off into turn 3, and there's Ricky Harden following him right behind. And actually, there goes Ricky Harden around. So that's going to put the 00 a lap down. So now, I think if you're in the seat of Scott Eckrich, you're hoping for another wave around.
Oh yeah, definitely. So you're right. As of right now, if caution would have come out right now, Scott Eckrich would have to stay out and not pit under this upcoming caution whatsoever to get a lap back. So that means he was begging on a lot of cautions to really get back on the lead lap. At least a couple cautions.
At least a couple, definitely.
Yep, definitely. I don't know if you've been noticing this here, Brian, but I'm noticing some marbles develop at the exit of turn 4 on the bottom of the track. I'm not sure if you're noticing it, but I'm sure noticing it.
Just a little bit. Yeah, right there at the exit of turn 4.
Yes, sir.
Ka-choo.
So these guys, once the marbles keep developing, they'll have to watch themselves and be careful not to run over the marbles, because you can definitely get on the marbles and be all over the racetrack and slip and slide. So it's not a good thing to do. So
Speaking of slipping and sliding, Ricky Harden is slipping and sliding away from this group of cars behind him. He's been able to stretch out about half a second. Gap caution is out.
Uh-oh. Yeah, I was just saying.
Spaghetti-O, somebody's stopped on the track.
07, Woodrow Mahan.
Woodrow Mahan in the 07 sitting backwards down on the low end of the speedway here. That's what happened to him off of the corner. Just Did he loop it? Yep, just got onto the loud pedal a little too quickly and looped it around the corner. So now, we just talked about this, but that's going to be Don Runkle Jr. getting your Coastal Safety Auditors Lucky Dog Award.
Back on that Ricky Harden topic, man, he was cars going down pit road here. Back on the Ricky Harden topic, yeah, you say he was slipping and sliding, but he was leading this thing, and loose is fast.
Loose is fast, but controlled is faster. So the thing that we're going to have to watch out here, we're going to have 50 to go. Do you see something back there?
The race leader 65 and the 33. I could have sworn they matched bumpers there on pit road, but maybe I'm just seeing things. But no harm, no foul there.
So here's the thing. This very well might be the final pit stop for everybody up there in the lead group. We've got 50 laps to go right now. So unless this really runs another 30 laps green, I don't see guys diving to pit road. Ricky Harden is going to lose the lead off of the pit lane exchange.
Eric Brundys.
Oh, goodness. I think Brundys got him.
I think Brundys got him. Brundys did get him, I believe. 2 tires on Brundys.
Ooh.
2-tire gamble on this long. I think this green flag run that we had was the longest we've had all night. So if we do, and this is just my opinion, if we do go green for another 30 laps, once we do go green here, I'm gonna bet on guys going on pit road and taking 4 tires and just race it out, because I think tires is going to be the difference maker.
I think so, but you know what? If that's the case, if you can try to see into a crystal ball for the end of the race, I'd much rather be in Ricky Harden's position. Take 4 tires now. If we get that late caution, dive on the pit road and get yourself 2 tires. You're going to be able to jump out there. And the guys that took 4 are going to be marred in traffic so much that I don't think they're going to be able to be a factor at the end of this one. So, you know, it's an interesting strategy call here from Eric Brundys. We're going to have to see how it works out. It's certainly a bold strategy, Cotton, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I just hope he doesn't spin the tires or anything like that, because if you're on 2 tires and on the tires and the green flag laps that we ran here tonight so far, that's a lot of laps on the tires. So, well, it's an interesting call, yes, but if he's able to hang up there at least within the top 5, I mean, he'll definitely go down for 4 tires and battle it out if we do to get another caution.
And we did talk about this a little bit beforehand, too, before the caution. Scott Eckrich looks like he's going to take another wave around to get back to 1 lap down. So now that's going to put him in a position that potentially the next caution is going to come out, especially if it happens quick. That's going to put that number 70 machine back onto the lead lap. With this little time left in the race, I don't know how much of an impact he's going to be able to make in the rest of this one, but it's certainly going to be an interesting drive to watch him make it.
I don't mean to be disrespectful to any drivers on the racetrack, especially towards Scott Ettrick or anything, but I don't think he's going to have it. I don't think he's going to win this race. I mean, too far back, you're a lap down yet. You got about less than 50 laps to go. I just don't see it happening, but he's just trying to make up everything he can right now. I mean, granted, he does have 2 wins, so he's not really losing anything.
No, he can make a great gamble call. I mean, you know, he's locked into the chase. Got 2 wins. Why not try for a 3rd one? Who knows? He might not even pit if everybody dives on the pit road. He's got absolutely nothing to lose and everything to gain. All bits of glory.
Yep. If we get a caution next 10 laps, and then we get another caution next 10 laps, and he continues to stay out, and then decides to be raced later, why not?
Why not?
Base car is off. Yeah, definitely. Base car is off. It's Eric Brundys, Ricky Harden, Ryan Howard, Jonathan Patel, Jake Wright, the top 5. Here we go, Brian.
Brundys on the loud pedal, green flag in the air, a little bit of tire spin, which is going to let Ricky Harden try to dive to the inside, a little bit of contact between the 2. Harden down to the inside, trying to make those 4 tires work while they can. Brundys hitched him a little bit off the corner, and Brundys is going to be able to sneak away.
He's got to get down there, and he does. He makes it stick on the bottom of the track.
But for how long is Brundys going to be able to stick up there? You got Jake Wright also trying to hold on to position number 5. He's got Tommy Ryan all over the rear bumper of him. Mr. Excitement and Nick Cohan making contact, door slamming each other side by side. This is we have officially entered, and somebody better get on the phone and call Kenny Loggins, because we are now into the danger zone of this race. Everybody's going to be diving and dodging back and forth, and now the only thing that's going to be left over are going to be hurt feelings.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, and I wouldn't be surprised if any of these guys get out of their cars and all of a sudden they're flying their fists. I mean, that's just typical Martinsville thing. So, I mean, here we go. So everyone's single file, and Eric Brundys still out front. I'm surprised he's hanging there.
He's hanging on, but I'll be curious to see how that run wears on. If those 2 tires are going to hang on as good as the 4 tires are going to, we know they're going to be able to hang on. Or is Ricky Harden just kind of laying back there right now? He's led over half of this race. He's going to get the bonus point there for leading the most laps.
I don't know, but I think Mr. Excitement, Drew Carroll, is getting a little bit tired of being pushed around here. He just went around Jody Green for a position. That's for the 8th position. Now he's got to catch Nick Cohan, who traded a little paint with him earlier in the screen flag run here, trying to catch him. But I think he's done messing around here. I think he's going to try to go for it.
Going to try to go for it. We're going to see how the race wears on. I'm still keeping an eye out front. Brundy's has not been able to get away. Everybody's within about a second and a half of each other from the top 7. Basically sitting here at
least a
end
1.7, yeah.
Yep,
Oh, a little smoke on a backstretch there. I wonder if that's from a lap car or.
Well, better than smoke on the water and fire in the sky. Brundy's holding on to it in the lead, is actually starting to gap just a little bit
That's
away
a shocker.
from Harden.
Maybe he did take 4 tires. I'm not quite sure.
Definitely took 2 tires. That
Definitely
pit
took
time
2?
tells the
Okay.
story.
Man,
Ryan Howard caught the wall a little bit on the outskirt of 2, which is going to let Jonathan Cadell dive to the inside. We've seen it. Passing is a little tricky around here. Is he going to be able to hold the momentum from the high side? He's going to try. They're going to come real close to. Oh, goodness. A little bit of contact. Nothing major. Little wiggle off of the corner. Here's Cadell trying to slide to the inside. Driving it in there. Taking a little more contact on the outside.
All right, let's not open up that Dr. Pepper can just yet there, Ryan.
It just about got opened up on the turn 4 wall as he was pushed up there.
Yep.
Cadell driving the wheels off of that number 65 Toyota. I'm sure
Ryan,
he's giving his fans on the live stream a great show.
Yeah, Tommy Ryan, he just gained another position after all that. He's been the quiet one all night long in the top 10. Now, we haven't talked about him much, but I like to give a shout out to him. He's been in the top 10 all night long, and we haven't spoken of him much. So great run for Tommy Ryan.
And Tommy Ryan and Jake Wright, too. Both of them. Not a whole lot of damage on either one of them, but back up front, Ricky Harden is running down the 54 machine of Eric Brundy's. Harden all over the rear bumper. Oh, little slides off. Here comes a pass.
There we go.
Move for the
lead.
Ricky Harden to the inside. Is he going to be able to make it stick off of the corner? Yes, he will. Contact. Oh, we got the thing. No,
Brundy's
sideways.
Get low, get low. Oh, boy.
Cadell with a little bit of a nudge off of the corner.
Oh, Cohan.
Tommy
Ryan.
Nick Cohan dove out of nowhere, and he's going to gain a whole bunch. He gained 4 spots just in that one corner, I think.
Oh, man, I don't care who you are. That's some classic Martinsville racing right there. And Ryan Howard's still under attack. Here comes Mr. Excitement himself.
Drew Carroll looking to line up the rear bumper there of the 33, but it's not quite working. Jake Wright, in all of that shuffle, Jake Wright's now in 2nd place.
Oh, man, did Brundy's get, shoved around there, but he really didn't have an option, really. I mean, he was trying to save it, let guys by, not trying to get run over. He did an incredible job on saving that vehicle. Well done.
That was a great job. That was great racing.
My throat was actually hurting. I was like, holy cow! Woo!
Great up here. That's for sure.
Oh, man, if I had a Martinsville hot dog in my hand, I probably would have dropped it. I mean, so Mr. Excitement going for another position on Ryan Howard. Side-by-side turn number 3, Mr. Excitement himself, Drew Carroll, side-by-side with the Dr. Pepper machine as he does make a clean pass underneath him.
Now, Mr. Excitement himself, Drew Carroll, move him up to position number 5. If you look just up there in 3rd position.
He got on the wall a little bit, Mr. Excitement, but no harm, no foul. But, yeah, if you look up there a little bit, I think the target is required.
Target is acquired on the rear bumper of the 65. You remember earlier on in this race, Cadell, for lack of a better word, just shoved the 87 out of the groove and took the position. But now, with Carroll working his way back on the outside, let's see. We're going to have to keep an eye on that battle because sparks might start flying here in a minute. Up front, we've got a kind of a shrinking battle for the lead here. Jake Wright, ooh, wow, the 18 machine, Jason Swan, just drove Ricky Harden into the corner.
Yeah, definitely.
And he apologized for it. He knew he was in the bad on that one, so he gets on the radio, apologizes, which lets Ricky Harden try to squeak away again. But right now, his gap over the 27 machine of Jake Wright is sitting at a scarce 0.6 of a second.
Man, Tommy Ryan is under attack. He just got passed by Eric Brundys. Now he's being passed by Jody Green, and if he gets stuck on that high side, he's being passed by the number 7, Rich Jett there.
Yeah, Ryan is just looks like it looks like.
Oh no! Now this is gonna be bad for Tommy Ryan because now you're coming up in lap traffic. What do you do? And he's giving him a lot of
pinned
positions.
up there.
Yeah, he's pinned.
Oh man.
No! Yeah, he is definitely pinned there 3 wide there, trying to get around lap traffic. I don't know what you're gonna do there. There's really not much you can do.
No, you're pretty much pinned in there, and there's not a whole lot you can do in that situation. You just kind of have to grit your teeth and grip onto the wheel and hope for the best. He's trying, and he's got some left front damage. Actually, some nose damage there too. Tommy Ryan does, as right now he's under attack from Adam Jersky, 4th position. Now Tommy Ryan is currently 11th position. He's about to lose 11th from Adam. If he can get underneath, nope. Man, lap cars are really hurting Tommy. Oh, there we go. He's gonna hop down line right there. Just say lap cars are really hurting Tommy right now. That's hurting him, yeah. So right now, your gap up front, still maintaining about 0.6 of a second. Every once in a while, they trade a tenth about back and forth. Nothing really much to report on at the moment, but we do have 20 laps to go this time by. So these guys know that pay window is getting ready to open up. They're going to be making a run for it. So now, will there be any kind of late race caution that's going to throw a ripple to this one? Is we're actually going to get 20 to go this time by? Yes. I had to answer that immediately. Yes, I believe we will get another caution. It's just Martinsville racing. All that kind of stuff does happen here. It's prone. So right now, here's a battle that could be shaping up fairly soon. Is Nick Cohen and Jonathan Goodell. Now, if those two get side by side and they're battling out really hard, that's going to allow Drew Carroll to catch them and make some noise. Absolutely right, Tanner. It's going to be interesting to watch how that one shakes out at the end. Is Carroll going to be up there is Carroll going to be able to get up there and give Cadell a little bit of payback on that one? But a lot of smoke in front of our leader. I was just trying to see what's going on. I think it might just be a car trying to make the corners, but things wounded. Right now, Woodrow got sideways. Okay, thank you, Spotter Joe Peak. Woodrow got sideways in the middle of the corner. That's why I kept seeing a whole lot of smoke on the front of the leaders. Right now, as this race burns down, I think that we're going to probably kind of stay focused on here unless something else jumps out at me, because that lead is shrunken a little bit, and that's not what Ricky Harden wants to see. You see the 70 and Scott Eckridge right out there in front of him, battling side by side with Rhett McBride. Rhett rolls out of it, takes the high groove, lets the leaders go by. It was a spirited drive for Scott Eckridge there. Just ran out of time trying to get back onto the lead lap. Too many bad breaks happened too early. It's almost like the first part of the season all over again for Scott Eckridge. You know, every week we've been broadcasting these races, and every week I watch at number 27 of Jake Wright. He's been fast every week. He runs in the top 10. He's been solid, and right now he's trying to catch. Spin on the front. Is he going to hold it? Hold it. Oh God! He held it straight. Was not able to bring out a caution, but I'm sure that checked up, because there's Jake Wright. I tell you what, the rear bumper of Ricky Harden. Tell you what, if we got excited, just think how excited Ricky Harden got. I mean, if I was him, I'd be like, oh, trust me, that would be my reaction, really. But right now, he's pretty much caught him 2/10 back. Not quite to the back bumper yet, but Jake Wright, he's been fast every week. Can he close up that win tonight? As we're looking out the rear bumper of Ricky Harden and that unacceptable racing Ford, let's see. Oh, the 27 gets right close. Oh, and he catches the wall just a little bit off of 4. Nothing major, just a little kiss on the right side. Just scratch the paint up a little bit. But he's able to keep the run. He's actually able to keep Jake Wright at bay, because he's getting a great run off of the corner, and that's letting just keep just enough gap that's not going to allow the 27 to just dive bomb him into the corner. Well, at least with who knows what happens with 5 amp. We get down
there
to 5
he goes,
to go.
the back bumper, but Ricky Harden gets a better exit off with just 12 laps remaining here at Martinsville Speedway. Are we going to see a side-by-side photo finish?
We just might see it, but also fun or something to keep in mind, folks at home. iRacing does not do a green-white checkered finish. So when these guys probably get the 5 to go or 4 to go signal, if a caution comes out, or basically what's going to happen at that point, once we get to 4 to go, these guys, the next flag will end that race. Whether it's going to be the checkered flag, whether it's going to be the yellow flag, and the race finishes under caution, which I really hope it doesn't. This is a thrilling race that we've seen so far. It'd be a shame to see it under caution, but it did very well possibly can happen here. 10 to go for Ricky Harden this time by. What do you think, Tanner? Is Ricky going to be able to hold off Jake?
Well, so far he's doing a tremendous job at holding off Jake. So if he keeps doing what he's doing, he should be able to hold him off. But Jake, he's just doing everything he can possibly. He's better on entry, but Harden is better on exit. Now, here's the key thing. You got a couple lap cars ahead of Ricky Harden. That could play a big factor in catching up, because with all the lap traffic that these guys caught, look at Jonathan Cadell. He's actually gained on these race leaders just a little bit. Right now, it's flat out 1 second. So right now, we're getting set up for a tremendous finish.
And he was quicker than our leader. Just a hair off of the speed of the 27 machine of Jake Wright, but could Cadell get up there and make it a 3-wide dance? We know he's not afraid to get that nose of that car involved and move cars up and out of the way, so this is going to get good.
I've seen a lot of things happen here at Martinsville. I mean, I've seen where on the last lap the leaders take a 3-wide and the leaders wreck, and the 4th place car wins it. That happened to me one time. So we'll see what happens here at Martinsville. Right now, I'm rooting for Jake Wright. He doesn't have a win under his belt. I don't think Ricky Harden has a win under his belt either. So we are, in fact, going to get a new winner for the chase this season to be locked in thus far.
Well, potentially. I mean, you got Cadell sitting back there in the popcorn position in 3rd place. If these guys get side by side, start spinning or wrecking or hitting each other, that's going to allow that 65 machine to spring right up into it. If Wright's holding anything back, he needs to go now. He needs to get aggressive.
He has to,
because we've entered that danger zone here.
If you have to, you may have to put the bumper to him. I mean, that's just flat out classic Martinsville racing. Always has been, always will be.
It is the case. 4 laps to go this time by. Next flag is going to end this one, whether it's going to be the yellow flag or whether it's going to be the checkered flag. Jake Wright, if he's got anything for Ricky Harden, he's got to show it now. He can't sit back there the whole rest of this run and try to make this move on the final lap. It's just not going to work out that way. Or he could actually very, very well prove me wrong.
He's doing everything. He's doing everything he can. 3 to go, and he's coming up on lap traffic too. And actually, he's going to come up on heavy lap traffic here if these guys aren't careful. So this could be the difference maker right here. So there's the first car right up ahead. I believe that's the number 28 machine right up ahead. Going to go another lap down.
He's good. Calvin Pilarski's been very good as the race has progressed, of staying way out of everybody's way. So here we go. Lap and a half left for Ricky Harden. Is he going to be able to hold off Jake Wright? Jake Wright trying to make that high side work and get a great run, but it's not going to quite work out this time. White flag in the air. Ricky Harden. Is he going to be able to hold on for one more lap around Martinsville?
Here we go.
Pilarski gets a little loose in front of him. Is Pilarski going to play a factor? Is he going to try to go up to the high side? Here we go. Jake Wright going down to the inside. Contact between the two. Just a little bit of bumper touch.
Not enough.
Nothing. But Ricky Harden is going to hold on, and Ricky Harden will win the Coastal Safety Auditors 200.
What a finish. What a race. What a finish. 27 car Jake Wright he just did everything he could possible. Try to put the bumper to him to loosen him up just a little bit. Didn't happen. Ricky Harden held his way.
That was a great finish. It was a great cherry on the Sunday here of the race at Martinsville. Ricky Harden held on, locks himself into the chase, and it was just a great show for everybody. So you're going to watch that number 15 machine come down to the front stretch. I think it's time to make the donuts. Let's see. Is he going to cut it loose? Here he goes. Burn him down. Ricky Harden celebrating the victory here at Martinsville. A well-earned victory. And with that, we're going to go and take a quick break. we're gonna maybe get a Martinsville hot dog ourselves, but we're gonna focus on Ricky Harden just making the donuts around here, celebrating his hard-earned victory. When we come back on the other side, we're gonna have some driver interviews and a full field rundown, so stay tuned. Well, that was a great battle that we saw today at the Martinsville Speedway. Never ceases to amaze for drivers and fans alike. Saw a great battle. Ricky Harden's going to take home the grandfather clock tonight and celebrate his first victory. We're going to get a chance to talk to him here in a couple minutes. So, with that being said, your full field rundown. Ricky Harden is your winner. Jake Wright in second place, rounding out the third step of the podium with Jonathan Cadell. Fourth place to Nick Cohan. Fifth to Mr. Excitement himself, Drew Carroll. Sixth to Ryan Howard, followed by Jody Green in seventh. Eric Brundy's on that two-tire strategy, holding on, tried to make it work, slid back to the eighth position, and followed by Rich Jett there in ninth, and James Grahula rebounding very nicely and getting back to the top 10.
Outside the top 10, you had Am Jersky, who finishes in the 11th position. Dan Murray started 37th, will finish 12th tonight after going a lap down. Tommy Ryan will finish 13th tonight after slipping back towards the end of the race there, trading some paint with some fellow drivers on the track. 14th place is Jesse Fowler. Paul Pepper, who we made note earlier, started 34th, finished 15th tonight. And now we get to the cars who are laps down. First car lap down, Rick Savage sitting in 16th. 17th is Calvin Filarski. 18th place is Scott Ettrick. In 19th place is Don Runkle Jr. And 20th place is Brandon Minnick.
21st to Matt Lacrosse, followed by Jason Swan in 22nd. 23rd to Woodrow Mahan, followed by 24th DJ Beverly. Really not the way he wanted to see that race end for him. Had a great qualifying start and had a great race early on in the run, and then just getting caught up in somebody else's bad day. 25th to Rhett McBride. 26th to Brad Collins. 27th to Big Joe Hassert. 28th to Pierre Daigle, 29th to Rick Thompson, and 30th to Steve Gottschalk.
Outside the top 30, you have Danny Sanchez, who finishes in the 31st position. 32nd, Randy Yoakum. 33rd position, John Martin in the number 77 machine. 34th position, Benny Ellison. 35th position, Josh King. 36th position is Alec Marshall. 37th position is Mark Allen. 38th is Chad Stallman. And 39th is Mark Norbert. And rounding out the top 40, the last car is Jeff Ryan.
With that being said, we've been informed that our second place finisher is not going to be able to join us in the post-race side of things, so we're going to switch things around a little bit, and we're actually going to talk to the driver that finished the race in fourth position. That's the driver of the number 21 machine, K&N Filters, Nick Cohan. Nick, tell us about your race here at Martinsville today.
Well, a lot of sparks and a lot of bent metal. That about sums it up. But happy to finish fourth, so wasn't really expecting to do that good here. This is like my worst track by far, and really happy to finish fourth. So
I had a great finish. We had a huge moment there in the booth when I believe a couple guys in front of you got really squirrely off of the corner, and we called it a YOLO moment, where you just kind of dove it into turn one and hoped to whatever deity you believe in that it stuck in 1 and 2. Tell us what you're thinking there. It seems like the seas kind of unfolded for you.
yeah, I kind of got really lucky there. Just saw something going on ahead of me, and there was no yellow yet, so I just held it flat off of 4 and went underneath him. And then when I drove into 1, you could say it stuck, but it didn't really stick too good because I doored somebody, and whoever it is, I'm sorry, but I had to go for it there. I needed to get as much as I could because, like I said, this is not one of my best tracks, so I had to get every bit I could there. But yeah, it was scary. I thought somebody was going to come back down the track and cause a big wreck, but thankfully everybody held on there. We got to run to the end there.
We were wondering when the next caution was going to come out, but everybody seemed to stick in there really nicely. Season's starting to come around a little bit, starting to get some momentum built up. Nick, when are we going to talk to you here in Victory Lane next?
Well, hopefully soon. Yeah, after that beginning of the season, this is great. A second and a fourth, and had a good finish in my other league last night. So hopefully that bad luck's out the window now, and hopefully no more of that, and we can keep this Steel Horse Racing Camry up front.
Absolutely. Now we're off next week, taking a little Easter break, but we come back to Texas, a nice wide open 1.5 mile speedway. Any thoughts on Texas Motor Speedway?
Yeah, the Winter Series, when we ran that, I won that race, so that makes me feel good that we're going there next. And it's kind of funny because I've never been good at Texas. I don't know why. It's normally my type of track, but that was one of the tracks that I just never really seemed to have any decent finishes come out of it. And in the Winter Series, I I just felt strong there. Just there might have been the dynamic tracks or whatnot, but me and John finished 1-2 there, and that felt really cool to win. And I think it was actually the first PRL race that we ever held, so that was pretty cool. And hopefully, hopefully we can get the K&N Toyota Camry in there again.
Absolutely. Before we let you go here and take a week off, any final words for your viewers out there, Nick?
No, just glad everybody. Thanks for everybody tuning in. Gotta thank everybody at Steel Horse Racing, Jason Swan, of course, for giving me the opportunity, and CJ Automotive, and of course you guys for putting this together, and James Crew at PRL.
Sounds great, Nick. Like I said, we'll see you back in 2 weeks' time at Texas. Until then, safe travels, and we'll catch you then.
All right, see you in Victory Lane.
He's calling a shot now. That's the voice of Nick Cohan, our fourth place finisher in the grueling event of Martinsville today. But now we're going to turn to our third place finisher. And Tanner, you've caught up with Jonathan Cadell.
Jonathan Cadell, you finished in the third position here today, and what a wild race that was here at Martinsville. And first and foremost, you made some bumping and trading paint with Mr. Excitement himself, Drew Carroll. What was that like on the racetrack?
Well, some of them I felt bad about and some of them I didn't. There towards the end, I know I didn't make any friends out there. I know I got into Eric Brundy's and I got into Ryan Howard, and they're probably not going to forget that one. It is Martinsville, but those were not intentional, and that's really all I've got to say about that one.
Yeah, definitely. We were trying to hear some radio communication, and unfortunately, it was some clean, respectful racing between all you guys that made contact out there. So I tip my hat about that. I mean, we are at Martinsville, however. But speaking of a wild race, man, we had a lot of cautions, but towards the final closing laps of the race, we didn't get a caution. Do you think if we would have got a caution, you would have had you could have tried to go for the win there?
I mean, we were so even up front. I think I kind of screwed myself there at the beginning, qualifying in seventh. I never really could get the track position. I feel like I was as faster than Ricky for parts of the race, especially on the long run. But anytime I start to catch up, we get a caution. You really just have to wait for somebody to make a mistake before you can pass them. And I was hoping there going the last lap that Jake and Ricky would have some excitement there and I could sneak on by for the win. But honestly, without that, I wouldn't have won. So it was good to see Ricky win, but I'll take the third place.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's good third place points right there. I believe you already have a win under your belt. So not next week, but the week after, because obviously it's going to be Easter break. We're going to the Texas Motor Speedway. We're transitioning from a paperclip to a 1.5 mile racetrack. Is Texas a great track for you?
Well, normally I'd say no. When we were going to Las Vegas, I told y'all I didn't like it, and I'm going to tell you I don't like Texas either, but, crazy things have happened. I managed to sneak out a win at Vegas, so maybe that'll happen again.
Yeah, definitely. Is there anything else you would like to say before we let you go?
Yeah, once again, I'd like to apologize to Eric Brundy's for getting into him there, passing him for a second. I was just, I overdrove over my head, but I just think the rest of my Steel Horse Racing teammates, I had a bad night last night, and it was a good way to rebound the night, and they kept my head up, and I'd just like to thank them, and thank everybody on my Twitch channel there, Steel Horse Racing TV, for watching, and thank you guys for your amazing broadcast.
Well, thank you, Jonathan, for coming and talk with us here in a post-race interview. That is Jonathan Cadell finishing in the third position tonight. Back to you, Brian.
Absolutely. The voice of Jonathan Cadell, but now the voice that we're all looking forward to listening to. Ricky Harden, you bring home your grandfather clock today. You led a whole bunch of laps. You brought home the victory. You're locked into the chase. Tell us, how does it feel, man?
Oh my goodness. It feels so good to get the monkey off my back, man. We have had the worst season. I've had the worst season. I've just had terrible luck starting at the beginning of the first race of the year at Daytona. And the first three races got a ton of incidents, had to sit out the fourth race, and just really happy to come back and do something good for once.
I know I talked to you a little bit earlier or later on last week, and you said you're going to drive Martinsville way differently than you typically drive. Do you think that contributed to leading over half the race and bringing home the victory?
Well, the first thing I wanted to do was just get a good qualifying run and start near the front. And then usually the front guys can work with each other and just get single file. And we did early on, and then brakes just kept falling my way. I was up there with some teammates, DJ Beverly and Ryan Howard, and we were working together on those restarts, just trying to get everything clean and all that good stuff. So, man, it just worked out in my favor.
Sounds great. Now, how much do you think winning the truck race over here on Sunday night had something to play with that?
Well, it didn't hurt. For sure, the cars drove very similar to the trucks. So, I mean, the weather conditions were very, very similar. And I don't think it ever hurts to get experience around Martinsville because everything is pretty similar around here.
Sounds good. And with everything being said, we get a week off, so you get to kind of celebrate your victory more so than anybody else in the other first part of the season here. But then we move on to sweeping mile-and-a-half oval. I mean, and the rest of the season really rolls on nicely. Kind of how you summing up and looking at the rest of the season. Now that you got a win, do you keep pushing for more wins? Do you try to experiment a little bit, take some more strategy gambles? I mean, how are you kind of approaching this part now?
Yeah, I think maybe taking a few more gambles is on the table. I don't feel like I'm one of the top 5 fastest guys in here. I feel like I'm somewhere in the 6 through 10 area, So it feels good to get a win early. I thought I would have a good season, a nice consistent season, but to get a win this early, man, I love that. So really happy. Hopefully we can get some more.
Sounds great. So, yeah, like we mentioned, we got the Easter break coming up. Before we don't see anybody for 2 weeks, any final thought as we leave our viewers this week for you, Ricky?
Yep. I know we had a few more cautions than normal. We're going to look at some of those incidents and just see if we can get some of that stuff cleaned up. I hate that we couldn't have some more green flag racing for you guys. But I really want to thank James for helping me put this together, and you guys for doing the broadcast, and Unacceptable Racing Facebook page. Josh King over there would kill me if I didn't mention that.
Absolutely. I did think of one more question while I was hearing you talk. The last 5 or 10 laps, you had Jake Wright all over your rear bumper. I mean, tell us from the driver's seat, how much were you checking that relative box, looking up in the rear view mirror? I mean, were you trying to manage the gap?
Oh, man, I reached up and knocked the mirror down. I didn't want to be looking at that thing. But what happened there is after the restart, the 54 took 2 tires, and I had to really dig hard to try to pass him. I didn't think he would be that strong on 2 tires, but he was good. I think he took 2 tires, but he was fast, whatever the case, and it just was hard to get around him. I think I used up my right front more than I wanted to. So at the end of the race, I had less than I had, saved on the longer runs throughout the night. So that really was difficult. I knew Jake was going to be better than me, but man, I just tried not to look.
Sounds great. So go back to celebrating your victory. Go pet Brutus the lucky dog, and we'll see you back here in 2 weeks at Texas. How's that sound?
Thank you. That sounds great. Thank you, guys. See you later.
All right. That was the voice of Ricky Hard, and your winner, bringing home the grandfather clock tonight. Tanner, we saw a great race today.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's definitely one of them classic Martinsville races, folks. I mean, this is just classic Martinsville racing. I really can't explain it any other way. There's a lot of bumping and grinding on the racetrack out there, training paint. And we could have seen number 27, Jake Wright, try to move him out of the way. He tried, but unfortunately did not do anything as Jake Wright had to settle for a second-place finish here tonight.
Yeah, but it's going to be a hard time keeping Jake Wright out of victory lane. The time for him to win is going to be coming soon. So with that being said, on that bombshell, I think it's time to end this program. So Tanner, let's send them all home. How's that sound?
Sounds good. Ready to go for the Easter break and then return 2 weeks for Texas.
Absolutely. We ought to thank the sponsor of our race, Coastal Safety Auditors. Remember, Coastal Safety Auditors, your one-stop shop for fire and life safety equipment services. AdvoCare for sponsoring the AdvoCare Cup Series. If you're looking to add some spark to your life, AdvoCare gives you a full line of options from wellness and weight loss to those looking for a little bit more performance of their active lifestyle. If you're interested, please contact independent distributor James Krahula at james.krahula@gmail.com or at the link in the description below. We would like to give thanks to the software and the hardware that we use for our broadcast that you see listed on your screen right now. Thanks to the team today, for Joe Peak for bailing me out on my connection issues, Tanner, Amjad, our spotter, Chris, Shaka Khan, Scala, and Dougie Beard. If you'd like to find out more about Global Sim Racing Channel, you can find it at www.globalsimracingchannel.com, along with archived races and upcoming broadcasts. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook at facebook.com/the Global Sim Racing Channel. Special thank you to Eric Ekholm and Casey Lalonde, who both provide music for our broadcasts. Their music can be found at the locations listed on the screen as well. As we mentioned, the next race in 2 weeks' time, April 5th, the Savage Spinners 200 at the Texas Motor Speedway. We also have other upcoming races for other series on screen, so check them out. Mark them down on your calendar. Until next time, race clean, race hard, and I'll see you on the track.